on in, come on in. I'm gonna need your full participation today. So hit that like and subscribe at the door, cause I'm gonna need 100K or more. You understand me? What's up, y'all? Let's lock in because this one right here, this is for every person who's ever confused chemistry for connection. For every man who's ever felt that pull, that temptation, and didn't know whether to follow it or to fight it. Today, we're talking about the battle between lust and love. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't understand the difference, you're going to keep making the same mistakes, ending up in the same situations, wondering why nothing in your love life ever lasts. See, lust disguises itself. And most men, they never let discipline in. They let the moment decide. They let the feeling lead. And that's exactly why they stay stuck. So if you're tired of chasing what feels good instead of what's good for you, if you're ready to build something real instead of something temporary, this message is for you. So let's get into it. I'm going to start by being real with you. Every man faces this battle. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter how disciplined you think you are, how focused you are on your purpose. There's always going to be that split second war between what feels good in the moment and what's actually good for your future. That's the battle between lust and love. And it's not just about sex, it's about every decision where your flesh wants one thing and your spirit knows you need another. It's about that woman who's bad for you but feels so right. It's about that situation that's convenient but not aligned with your purpose. It's about choosing instant gratification over long-term fulfillment. And here's what most men don't realize. Lust isn't the enemy. The ability to control it is. Lust is natural. It's biological. It's a part of being a man. But when you let it lead, when you let it make decisions for you, when you let it override your logic, your values, your purpose, that's when it's a problem. And that's when you lose. Because lust doesn't build anything, it consumes. Lust doesn't create connection, it creates addiction. Lust doesn't lead to love, it leads to regret, confusion, and emptiness. And the worst part, it disguises itself so well that you don't even realize you trapped until it's way too late. So today, we're breaking this down. We're exposing the trap. We're teaching you how to identify emotional games, practice sexual discipline, and build true connection through purpose, not temptation. Because at the end of the day, you can't conquer the world, homie. But I'll tell you who you can conquer. You can conquer yourself. So let's talk about what lust really is as adults. Lust is surface level attraction. It's the rush you get when you see someone physically appealing. It's the excitement, the adrenaline, the dopamine hit. It's the chemistry. And chemistry is real. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it doesn't matter. But chemistry without foundation is just a spark that eventually burns out. And here's the problem. Lust feels like love at first. It feels intense. It feels urgent. It feels like this is it. This is the one. I've never felt like this before. And in that moment, your brain really convinces you that what you're feeling is deep, meaningful, significant, but it's really not. It's just biology, and your body is responding to stimulation. Lust says, I want you right now. Love says to build with you for a lifelong time. Lust says you make me feel good. Love says you make me want to be better. Lust is about taking, but on the other hand, love is about giving. Lust is impulsive. Love is intentional. Lust fades when the newness wears off, while love deepens when you see that person day in and day out and you choose them anyway. And here's how you know it's lust and not love. If you remove the physical attraction, the sexual tension, the secrecy, the excitement, what's left? Can you have a real conversation with that person? Do you share the same values? Do you respect one another's goals? Are you both growing in the same direction? Or is it just good chemistry with no substance underneath? Because if it's just chemistry, it's not gonna last. You gonna get bored, she gonna get bored. The excitement's eventually going to fade. And you're going to be left wondering why something felt so right turned into something so wrong. Happens every time. Now let's talk about what happens when you follow lust without discipline. Let's talk about the cost, because every decision has a consequence. And when you let lust lead, you pay for it tremendously, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and sometimes financially. Some of y'all out there tricking. You lose your clarity. You start operating off lust. You're not thinking straight. You're making decisions based on what feels good and emotion, not logic. You're ignoring red flags because you're too distracted on what feels good. You really convincing yourself that the problems between y'all don't matter because the attraction is so strong. That's how you end up in situations you knew you weren't supposed to be in from the gate. Secondly, it costs you time. Every month, every year you spend in a relationship that's based on lust instead of love is time you will never get back, homie. Time you could have spent building something real. Time you could have spent healing, growing, focusing on your purpose. But instead, you're stuck in this toxic cycle, breaking up, making up, hoping it gets better, knowing damn well it's not. Third, you lose respect for yourself and others when you're constantly chasing physical attraction, when you're moving from situation to situation with no real commitment, when you're making decisions based on your flesh instead of your future. People see that and they lose respect for you. And more importantly, you see it yourself. You start losing respect for yourself because you know you ain't moving righteous and living with integrity. You know you're letting your desires get the best of you instead of controlling them. Fourth, you lose your peace. Lust is chaotic, it's drama, it's unpredictable, it's up and down, hot and cold, intense and exhausting. You're constantly stressing and worried about where you stand, whether she's really into you, whether this is going anywhere. You're anxious, insecure, reactive. That's not peace, bro. That's bondage. And the crazy part is you're choosing it. You're staying because the chemistry is strong, even though everything else is garbage. And here's the final cost. You block your own blessings. When you stuck in lust, you're not available for real love. You're so distracted by what feels good right now that you can't even see what's good for your future anymore. And in the meanwhile, the woman who could actually build with you, who shares your values, who's aligned with your purpose, she's walking right past you. because you're too busy chasing something that was never meant to last. So how do you break this cycle? Is probably what you asking right now, right? How do you stop letting lust control your decisions? How do you build the discipline to choose love over temporary attraction? Let me break it down for you. I'm happy you asked. First, recognize the difference. Stop lying to yourself. Stop calling it love when you know it's really lust. Stop convincing yourself that chemistry is enough. Start being honest with yourself about what you're actually feeling and why. Stop being a dummy. Ask yourself, am I drawn to this person because of who they are or because of how they make me feel? Am I building something real or am I just feeding my addiction? Second, control the environment. You can't win the battle if you keep putting yourself in situations where you tempted. You know she banging, homie. Shut it down. Stop going to her place at 2 a.m. acting like you just there to talk, bro. Stop entertaining conversations that you know are leading somewhere you really don't want to go. Stop putting yourself in compromising positions and then acting surprised when you compromise. If you're serious about discipline, you control the narrative and the environment. You set boundaries. You protect your peace. Third, check your motives. Every time you feel that pull, that temptation, that desire, pause and ask yourself, why do I even want this? Is this aligned with my values? Is this moving me closer to my purpose or further away from it? Is it honoring me as a man and the man I'm trying to become? And if the answer is no, you walk the away. Don't negotiate with temptation. You don't need it. Shut it down immediately. Fourth, build a vision bigger than the temptation. This is the key. You can't just fight lust with willpower. Willpower runs out. You have to have a vision for your life that's so clear, so strong, and so compelling that temporary pleasure doesn't compare. When you know where you're going, when you know what you're building, when you know the kind of man you're becoming, distractions lose their power. You're not saying no to temptation because you have to. You're saying no because you want something greater in your life and for your life. Fifth, pray and stay grounded spiritually. This is warfare, and you can't fight a spiritual battle with physical weapons. You need God in this. You need prayer. You need to be rooted in something bigger than yourself. Because when you're spiritually grounded, you can see through the illusion and you know how to navigate. You can discern what's real and what's fake. You can resist what looks good but ain't good for you. And here's what happens when you start operating with that level of discipline. Your whole entire life upgrades. You stop wasting time on people who don't deserve your energy. You stop making decisions you have to apologize for later. You stop living in chaos and start living in peace. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop acting like a boy and start carrying yourself like a man that's controlled by your flesh. And stop being led by lust and start being led by purpose. That's standing on business. Now let's talk about what real love looks like. Because once you remove lust from the situation and equation, once you start operating with discipline, you create space in your life for something real, something that lasts, something that's built on more than just physical attraction. Y'all got to do more than just look good together. Real love is built on purpose and alignment. It's two people moving in the same direction, supporting each other, supporting your growth day in and day out, sharing a vision. It's not about competing with one another. It's about complementing each other. Y'all both on a mission. Y'all are two whole people individually, but you know you're stronger together. Real love is built on respect, not just surface level. I think you're cool respect. I'm talking about deep respect for each other's character, values, space, integrity, goals, and boundaries. You respect how that person moves. You respect how they treat people. You respect their discipline. You respect their heart. Real love is built on consistency, not just when it's easy, not just when it feels right and the feelings are strong, but through the hard times, through the arguments, through the fights, through the seasons where the chemistry between y'all isn't as intense, through the days where you have to choose each other even when you don't feel like it. That's when love proves itself. Real love is built on emotional maturity. It's two people who've done the work, who've healed, who's faced their demons, who know how to communicate without attacking one another, who know how to apologize without justifying or over explaining, who know how to give each other space without abandoning each other, who know how to hold each other accountable without tearing each other down. And real love is built on faith, not just faith in each other, but faith in something bigger than the two of you. Faith that only God can give, that brings the two of you together for a reason. Faith that you can just see it all over your face and nothing can break you. Faith when the both of you choose to stay committed, grow and heal together and walk in your purpose. Love becomes the foundation for everything the two of you decide to build. So let me bring it home. The battle between lust and love is real, and every adult faces it. But the difference between the men who win and the men who lose is simple. It's it comes down to discipline. You can't conquer the world. I'll say it again, but you can conquer yourself. You can't build a legacy if you're constantly distracted by temporary pleasure and everything that walk past you that look hot. You got to stop being led by your flesh. You can't protect your crown if you can't protect your peace. So stop chasing what feels good and start building what's actually good for you, my man. Stop letting chemistry override your logic, your God-given good sense. Stop confusing intensity for intimacy. Stop settling for surface level connections when you were built for something so much deeper. Choose discipline over desire. Choose purpose over temptation. Choose love over lust. And watch how it works out for you. Watch how your life transforms. Because when you get this right, when you master this battle, everything else starts to fall in place. Your relationships improve, your focus sharpens, your peace deepens, your purpose becomes clearer, and you become the man you were always meant to be. That's what I want for you, so I hope that's what you want for you. If this message hit you, drop a comment and tell me, what's one temptation you're choosing discipline over right now? And if you're serious about leveling up, about mastering yourself from the inside out, check out The Way of the Superior Man and my shadow work journal down in the description. Both are designed to help you build discipline, clarity, and purpose in every area of your life. Let's get it. All gas, no brakes. Lock in. Peace.